Yes. Hi.
You can. Hello, Isaac. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
It feels like a big leap. I don't know what I don't know what to say.
No need. Don't worry about it. Don't need to speak. It's totally fine just to rest. Don't need to invent anything to speak about or question or anything. Just resting together is totally fine. And as we rest, there's, natural to awareness is this capacity to notice and to make fine distinctions. So as we're sitting, of course, all of that's happening anyway. Whatever comes up is welcome, and let it come. There's no special way to be.
No. I didn't foresee tears coming.
No problem, really. They're welcome.
Maybe it's just sufficient to say that these meetings mean a lot to me, and that I'm very grateful for what you bring.
Thank you. That's beautiful. I'm happy to hear.
I'll come back later.
Thank you. Thanks for, thanks for just raising your hand and taking a few moments together, Gerrit. That's beautiful. I love it. Daiji. You're traveling.
What did you say?
Are you traveling in a camper?
Yes, I'm in El Hierro at the moment, neighbor island of La Gomera.
I know El Hierro. It's beautiful.
Beautiful, and it's a big pine forest here on 1,000 meters high. Beautiful.
Fantastic. Did they ever find your camper after it was stolen?
Yeah, they found it.
Wow,
they found
fantastic.
it. And I got it fixed in Germany, and then
beautiful. Oh, nice.
And next Sunday I go back to Europe and having some seminars in Germany, and so.
Wow, lovely.
And Gerrit was an inspiration now for me, just to also lift up hand and connect a bit.
Yeah, thanks.
I remember there was one lady that was also in our Sangha in former times. She lives here, but I don't remember her name. Do you remember? She's a healer.
Alka.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I connect.
Yeah, I'm sure she'd love to. You can find her on Facebook, Alka Singh, Singh.
Right, that's now. Let's see. Indian name.
Yeah, but she's not. I don't know where she got that from, but yeah.
I noticed recently that this kind of hurts or pain that happened in that Corona time is sitting so deep in that system, yeah. Every time when it comes back in memory or I listen to talks or whatever, I feel like, still there's coming anger.
You know, well, look at, when we talk about the Corona time, the Corona was an excuse, in my view, for a whole agenda. The Corona was just a little part of it,
Yes.
just to see how much people would listen to nonsense, and how much people would, willingly give up their freedoms and all that stuff out of fear and all that. So, and that agenda is still going strongly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not, in my view, it's not done yet, even though, a lot of the but they're still promoting these jabs and stuff. It's crazy. It's even though all the evidence is in, it's still a lot of places where they really promoting it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's from that or what, or even older stuff, but it feels like, it's like somehow heavy on my chest. So.
Yeah. In what's happening, there's such a polarization amongst, everyone that just, ultimately, everyone just wants to be at peace and be easy. And yet there's all this trying to create division and to see, I mean, in some sense, it's this great intelligence that's playing every single part. That's what's amazing to recognize.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, somehow there is a kind of hope that some shift might happen. And I see shifts happening in me sometimes, but yeah, I don't know if that influences the whole.
Yeah.
And yesterday or 2 days before, I was speaking to a friend who lives in. Oh, you know him also. We made the CD together.
Okay. Yeah.
And I spoke with him shortly, and yeah, he told me then, oh, you in the Corona times, you were so nasty and you blocked me from Facebook. That's not what friends are doing. I don't even know what pissed me off with you, but yeah. And so still many friends, so to say, friends that are also interested in what we are exploring here, somehow keep holding on that story, that it was so dangerous and that it was, yeah, and that is painful. Yeah. And it sometimes it feels like how shall I say that? I want to make somebody responsible for that, for that pain that is here, that I have inflicted. And that's even more painful.
Yeah. So, you know, to me, when I look at this dimension, this experience called life, where everyone we know has an appointment with death. We can't hold on to anything, not our youth, not anything actually. We have to leave everything. So it's an incredible realm in a way, yeah.
Yeah.
You just get to notice the movements and where there's resistance or believing something or other.
Yeah, thank you for your time and your attention.
Thank you, Guy. Enjoy your travels.
Yes, and see you in July, hopefully.
Thanks. Yeah.
Hi.
Bye. Anything that wants to be said?
No,
Thanks, Julie.
thank you.
Wow, it's far.
Hi.
Hi, Swaha.
I also feel inspired to wave my hand and then comes, because I feel a little bit ashamed, because of this money story. Very often I don't wave my hand to come because I'm not donating to the satsangs, and still this 150 every 2 months is a lot for me.
No,
So-
I get it.
Ah,
So just from my side, I understand. And it's for me, it's not about the money. That's why it's on a donation basis. If you enjoy the meetings, that's enough. If you enjoy
Yeah,
them and value them, yeah. And know if you had money, you would give it. But this is your
yeah, the
circumstance, and
dentist
it's
also, she asking for so much money, and I need to do some work there, and it's like, and I'm not a lazy person, but I just don't fit in the society, and
who
also
knows,
here in
Sarah?
La Gomera
Who
is,
knows? Just at this time, that's how money is flowing. Who knows what tomorrow brings? We don't know. If possible, don't put yourself into any box. You're just here, you're sovereign, you're enjoying.
I'm enjoying very much, I have to say. And also I enjoy very often my life, to have also the freedom to go slow. Just came a sentence to me, no hurry, no worry. And I love to do this, my things, and in the garden and in peace, and this is what you said. If it's becoming stressful very easy when I feel pressure of time. And this I kind of I saw very early in my life. I cannot work like, I cannot be like this, I would be becoming ill, and it's not making any sense for anybody. And then I stand there in the garden over my salads and I sing to them, because I just enjoy seeing them growing. It's crazy, but I feel so good with it. And it's not about feeling good, I know, but why not feeling also good when it's good?
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. So, just let this relating with this. It's kind of like what we call money is made up. It's not real. So just whatever, let it be an inquiry. Just watching how.
I grow so many salads that I have too much, and then I give it to people and they say, what can I give to you? And I say, I just love to give it, and I
Yeah.
read something about just giving freely is so good, Is this what the society needs now? No, society, what we need now, that feeling of free giving. And I even don't want to count on any coming back, It's like just nice to give it because it's there and it's growing by its own with some help. it's so special also. This was that it is another. I met a woman. She's also in satsang with someone else, and she asked me, "How much is it? What 3 times a week?" And I said 0 to, and she was like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah." And the celebrations, the retreats is 150 for a whole week, you know. And she was like, it was like, she couldn't hardly believe that, you know. I could see, because the one she is was asking a lot of money. And I just said there was a big smile.
Everybody has their journey, yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah. And I'm so thankful this is you are how you are. This is so an expression of love.
Mm.
Very attractive.
Mm.
And I wonder why not more people are here, you know. It's like, wow, this kind of little sangha. But and I also wanted to say, since you are not holding kind of speeches in, you know, videos or something, but this little 3 sentences or whatever you give now on Facebook, these diamonds, you know, they are, I send them around, you know, because they are just precious and people
Mm.
love it.
Mm.
Yeah. Many years ago, you recommended to me to find this movie, Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon.
Oh, okay.
And it's my life is a little bit like this, I have to say.
Mhm.
He also was standing there naked, you know, and so nice.
Mm.
Okay, now I start to cry. Thank you so much.
Yes, well. Yeah. Mm. Daniel. Daniel, on the bottom left of your screen is a little red. Yeah, you got it.
Ah, I figured out how it works here with raising the hand. And I fixed my internet issue.
Ah, great.
Really grateful to be here, and hi to the group and everybody. I want to bring in something that's taking my attention, and I don't want to crack the space with a topic, but I'm open for some solutions. Because, you know, in my shamanic world, there exists something like negative energies, or let's call it black magic, to use the most powerful term, whatever. And I can feel that sometimes these energies are going to affect my system on a subconscious level. And I really, really try to figure out where it links in, because there need to be some anchor where it touches me, because it's not coming from the mind, you know. It's not I'm thinking about it. It's like I stand up in the morning and I feel something is resonating somehow with some layers. And this morning I felt into some issue, and I could really feel that's a deep, vulnerable part in myself where I cannot really, how to explain? That I'm really sad that this kind of energies exist, or that people act in a certain way, and that feels somehow being an anchor in my system to be receivable for these energies. Because I've talked to people, and some people say, yeah, let's don't talk about it. If we don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. And for me, it's not working this way. Because if I say, like, don't talk about people murdering other people, it's not existing, it's going on. Unfortunately, it's going on in the world.
So there's a few ways that we can explore this, Daniel. So in most of us, there's an unexamined sense of doership. There's this idea that we're the doer. So let's just play with that for a moment. So as we're resting here, there's awareness. And can be that there's a sense of I, a sense of me. Okay. So if we take a moment just to explore what that sense of I is. So we're here and we're not looking at any religious books or anything anyone else has said. We're just exploring for ourselves. We know in our own experience, when we go to deep sleep, the sense of I disappears. And we know when it gets very quiet, there's presence. There's not really a sense of me. There's a sense of being everywhere, you could say, yeah. So we can see from that the sense of I comes and goes. It's not permanent, for one thing. And then we can see too that sense of I, if memory disappears, like for someone that has Alzheimer's or dementia, once memory disappears, there is no more sense of I. And so this capacity to remember. It's interesting because it's not really accurate, like our memories are not. First of all, we can't describe the moment, but then we think we can describe a past moment as a memory that something happened, or that really, once we see that this presence that's not related to memory in any way, then then we can see that the sense of I has to do with like, to me it seems like an activity, like when we wake up, whatever time of day that is, like some thoughts come in. Where am I? What's going on? How do I feel? What's on my agenda today? And they're very habitual thoughts, yeah. We're very used to them. And those thoughts produce a sense of context and a sense of me. But when it's just quiet, then it's just, you could say, boundless presence. Just, there's no agenda, there's no trying to get anywhere, there's nothing, there's just here. From the perspective of that feeling sense of me, it feels like that feeling sense of me is the doer. And yet, when we hear like John Lennon saying, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans, we can smile because we know that, it's just life does what it does, and somehow there's some sense that we have something to do with it. But in my view, it's like those kids' rides that you see at fairs where there's all these different vehicles with steering wheels that are on a track. And the kids love turning the wheel, but it's not attached to anything. And it's like that, the sense of I is trying to control our lives when really they just happen, yeah? So the thing is, when we talk about negative energies, to me, it's like if there's a projection that there's somebody there that's choosing that, then if we look deeper, for one thing, we'll usually see that it's an expression of trauma or of pain. And that actually there's no choice in how that expresses until an inquiry happens, until something comes to peace. Other than that, it will just vibrate at that frequency of pain. And so then coming back to what you were speaking about, what is it in us? What is the movement where there's some identification with it, or some resistance to negativity or painful expression? And how does that happen? I mean, I don't think any of us would do that consciously, because always when that happens, there's suffering. So to me, it seems like it's usually an unconscious movement that usually rationalizes and
yeah, it's somehow interesting because it feels that I can feel that identification happens very fast when I don't. So I know identification by my mind, for sure, I know that. But sometimes it feels that parts of myself are in identification, which I have not like conducted them in that way.
Exactly. So in other words, they're happening automatically, unconsciously. You're not doing them.
Totalmente. Yeah.
So
And it's just
once you see that, you can see, okay, so there is nobody that's identifying. There's automatic unconscious movements that there's no choice of, that show up as identification. But then from the perspective of the identification, it feels like I had something to do with it. But yet it happened by itself, automatically, unconsciously.
so it's just beautiful because when I'm in the field, that I sense myself as everything, and in one moment it's like some overlays are coming in, which I have not like activated by my mind. I can feel that what's moving, it's not I. Let's put it like that. And it's just to feel them. Or I just try to feel beneath what's getting activated and bring it back or let it reveal.
Yeah. So, if I look at the basis of any therapy or any intervention, it's simple, being met as unconditional love, So it's like, that's actually our nature, but not from the perspective of the sense of I. The sense of I wants it to be different, wants to fix it, wants to change it. And so there's an automatic resistance. And so then it gives it energy, you could say it like that.
Yeah, I think resistance is always the key, because if I'm everything, I need to relax into this trigger point. Or would I don't need to, but I have the possibility to.
Yeah, there's an interest to, you could say it like that. There's an interest to, there's like, okay, wow, here I am. And, it's like this, when I say this is as God as it gets, this is it, it's like, and then it's a question of, does something want it different? And most people on the planet live waiting for a better experience, wanting a different experience, wanting something to be different. And it's so common. It's it's considered, because it's so common, it's normal. It's what most people do, but it's not natural. You wouldn't find an animal. They're just there. They're not busy with, oh, it would be very cool if something,
And I'm so interested in how you are perceiving it. Is it like you, because Papaji said in one satsang, because somebody asked him if he is always in his state. And he said, like, every second of his life, he has to be very curious, vigilant. Because otherwise the mind drops in. So it's always it's a kind of a concentration, or like it's kind of a directing yourself, or not. How?
See, I don't know who he was responding to or what, because but for me, when I say for me, when I look, there is no me that's in a specific state. This awareness is who I am. So there's, from the perspective of awareness, there's no awareness in a specific state. There's just awareness, and different states come and go in it. And inherent in awareness is this capacity to notice. So there's a noticing by itself, without any effort, when there's some kind of charge, there's some kind of something less than peace, something where it is. So, and that just is noticed. It's not like, and I would say from the grace or the luck of having inquired so deeply over so many years, it's rare that something bites and sticks.
Mm.
And if it does, it just becomes, it's just, oh, okay, that's far out. There's nothing, okay, that's interesting. And then there's a curiosity. What is that? You know, it's like, so, and it usually doesn't seem to mean something about a non-existent me. I just see it, there's a movement in consciousness that somehow hasn't been seen or met. So, you know, if someone asks me, are you always in this state? I say, there is no me that's in any state. It's just this. It's another correct question. So it's from a sense of me that would ask a question like that. But as awareness, what would the question be? Is awareness always here? Where else can it be? It can only be here. If identification happens, who does it? And certainly not me. It's an automatic, it's unconscious. And then it's just an opportunity that's there in that moment.
And it's just bringing love to these inner parts.
Yeah,
Loving.
Yeah. And we can't even call them parts because they're not separate from, they just like movements, you know, that responses, you could say, to certain frequencies of information. Okay. The story from my life, you know, I was holding retreats in South Africa, and this friend of mine who built this retreat center for us died, and so they got a new manager, an Afrikaans man, and you know, we did our retreat, and I came to find out this guy was like very high up in South Africa. They called it the Bureau of State Security, boss, which was like the SS, basically. These guys, they did anything to try and keep an identity of Afrikaner South Africa. And so they killed, they tortured, they raped, they did everything. And anyway, when Mandela became president, he asked for this guy to be head of his personal security. So this guy went from one day fighting the ANC to having to serve, and he, you know, like, he couldn't refuse it, basically. It was a play of life. But anyway, we were there, and at the end of the retreat, he said, listen, I don't know what you guys are doing in the meetings, but I'm deeply touched. Something is really deeply touched. Could I come and just say goodbye to everybody? And I said, sure, no problem. Come. So he came in and we had a few practical things. And after that, when it was his turn to speak, he started crying. And he said, you know, I haven't cried in 40 years. And, you know, I used to think that my men respected me, but I see from this vulnerability now that they were afraid of me. And so, how does something like that happen? You know, a whole lifetime of being this hard, you know, fighting for his survival in a certain sense, or the survival of an identity, convinced he was doing the right thing, and then suddenly hears and just see.
So beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. So it does, like I think in Buddha's story, Milarepa had actually killed over 900 people or something like that. And he met Buddha and then became one of these main sages, really an incredible transformation that happened. So, in the end, it seems to me that at some point we recognize that our interest is to live as unconditional love, not as a construct, not as a concept, but as a knowing that that's our nature. And then watching where anything comes in that's different than that, that's our integrity of that.
Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, beautiful inquiry, Daniel.
Yeah, it's an invitation to go deeper.
Endlessly. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Judith.
Would it be okay, Isa, that I come again?
With pleasure. With pleasure.
Okay.
Yeah.
First, it's so nice to hear the story about him again. It's touching. Yeah, so beautiful.
Yeah, because you met him.
Yeah, I know
think
what you
were
talk
there.
about. Yes,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I was there. Yeah. So somehow it's so touching to hear the story again.
Yeah.
That is one. And the second thing is what came up when Swaha was talking about money. And I just see how much, and that's also somehow touching in me, how much charge in my system is there around money.
Yeah.
Like I should, and be independent. I should be able to make more money.
So look, just take a moment.
Yeah.
I think the Katie work is actually brilliant for all those
Yeah, I
ideas,
see.
just to
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
But when we really look at what is money, money is, it's like
It gives me such
a
an
belief,
inadequate feeling, those
I know,
thoughts.
I know. It's,
And it are thoughts, eh?
what is money? It's a medium of exchange.
Yeah.
By itself, there's nothing there. They're ones and zeros in the computer. Like
Yeah.
people can just make billions of dollars out of nothing. It's not related to anything real. So to measure ourselves, it's like,
Yeah, it is this measuring. I measure
it's the
myself
measuring.
by
Yeah.
being
So it has nothing.
not good
It has
enough
nothing
or
to do.
inadequate.
Yeah, all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like to, in a sense, to have the capacity just to sit quietly.
Yeah.
And to bring that to the field.
Yeah.
What kind of value can we put on that?
Yeah, that's my love. That's
your
just
love. That's all.
That's my love.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ramana was a beggar. He begged for his food.
But should you also not bring that together, because you also live on Earth, and somehow.
How would you ask Ramana that?
Yeah.
You live on donations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you think you should do more? Not just sit under a tree for 7 years?
Mm. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, so
honestly,
much charge still.
there's just, you know, it seems like some people,
Yeah.
it's just ideas, Judith, really and truly, and it's worth exploring the ideas. None of them are worth suffering for. None
Yeah.
of them are, in my view, you know, it's like, because we can see some of the richest people in the world with billions of dollars are not particularly beautiful people. You know, they're not at peace. They're not, what they bring. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is such a heavy weight, those thoughts
Yeah.
about this. Yeah.
And just to recognize their thoughts,
Yeah.
comparisons, and old habits, you know, like old
Yeah.
value systems.
Yeah, it brings up comparison, inferiority. It's just a whole
Stuff.
bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I can also see now the weight of the lineage around this money thing.
Yeah.
There's a whole weight of
A whole lot of conditions.
Yeah.
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 Papji's. I mean, with Papji, you never knew what about anything, but he said he only met like 3 totally liberated beings in his life, and one of them lived in the garbage heap, on top of the garbage heap. You know, one of those sadhus. Yeah.
Unbelievable, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you see again. Outside doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
For the depth of being. Yeah. Nice to bring this, to get it out.
You know, that's one of the things I appreciate about India, because somehow, you know, like there's a whole, in a certain segment of India, there's a very different orientation. Like when I went to Tiru and went to Ramana Ashram, and I, you know, met a bunch of different people, but one of them was this, they called him the bench Swami. He was a professor, and then he met Ramana, and after meeting Ramana, there was a family that had a outside porch. There was just a concrete slab on that porch, and he lived on that porch, I think, for the last 20, 30 years.
Wow.
And I went to go and sit with him, and the people there fed him. But he was an old man by that time, and you know, like the place stunk of pee. And he had cataracts, and the people asked him if they would, he would like them to try and get some attention for his eyes, and he said, I don't have any need to see anymore. I just, yeah. And there was such, you know, like a sweetness.
Abiding in
Just
being.
in being, you know, it's like, but on by any outward circumstances, he's a professor living on a concrete bench, I guess, you know, like that was it, and being fed, you know. That was it. That was his life for the last 30 years.
With such a sweetness inside.
Such a silence there, just beauty. When India is full of people like that, you know, they find an anthill or they find a tree and they sit by it. It's incredible. Yeah. And they respect it. You know, there's nothing there. People bring food or.
Yeah. Simplicity, yeah? Or the simplicity.
Yeah.
And there again, that the sweetness and the silence is not dependent on anything. No?
On circumstance, on anything.
No circumstance. Peace can be there.
Yeah.
Gets more quiet here.
Yeah. Yeah, and the rest is thoughts that come once in a while, you know, and somehow that's just some old.
Yeah, this is such an issue where there is still a charge. Yeah. Thank you so much, Isaac.
Thank you. Sandra.
Hey.
Hey.
Actually, there's something coming up. It looks like that a part is always looking for authority in the outside.
Such a, I'd say, in almost everybody, that habit is there. Yeah.
And I notice that there is a lot of shame connected with, and
There would be, yeah. And you can see that somewhere it's a condition, yeah. It's like, for most of us, our parents or our caregivers, whoever raised us, who weren't clear on authority. And so they didn't have the information in their own nervous system to give us the information that we sovereign, that there is no outside authority. They just didn't have it to give, so they gave us what they could, which was the idea that there's an outside authority. What to do? At some time, at some point, we see it or we don't. To know that you are, you don't need anybody. And then, you go to someone who, like if you go to a doctor or something, and some doctors try to be an authority, and it's like, okay, sorry, I'm not that interested. I'm interested in what information you have, but then I'm the authority that sees what resonates for it, and it's like,
yeah, that feels so true and so healthy. And I notice that something is sinking deeper. Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. I mean, to me, that comes through really looking deeply, noticing that there's that tendency or that old information and saying, well, what is that? It's like, wow, this awareness that's here doesn't need anybody's permission. It just is. Yeah. I'm always blown away, when I see how people get involved in cults, and in the name, there's a love of wanting to go deeper and truth, and how in that they get themselves involved in all kinds of crazy stuff. It's unreal. I mean, and again we see it happening. So it's super common, and I'd say it's rare that you meet someone that doesn't play that game, doesn't go into other than pointing you at yourself. That's it. pointing you to your own knowing. Yeah, like that. I love it. Around Ramana, people would come and say, "You're my master, you're my master. Ramana, you're my master. Now that you're my master, please take care that my son gets a good marriage and that my children get good marks at school." You would say, "You say I'm your master, but you're telling me, you know, all these things." It's like,
Yeah, it's totally nuts. Yeah.
it's nuts. Yeah. It's just it's tricks of the mind. That's all.
Yeah.
As far as I can see, there's no separation. There never has been. There never can be. This awareness, I can't say my awareness or your awareness. It doesn't belong to anybody. It's the source of manifestation, everything.
Yeah, and only here's a peace. And nothing to do, nowhere to get.
Nothing. Yeah.
Mm. Thank you. And I love the short stories you are telling.
Sometimes the story says a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we recognize something in it. Yeah.
Thanks.
And yeah, thanks, Sandra. Hi, Anya.
Hi, Isaac. Hello. I was just kind of wondering and noticing that there's something like strong fear coming up in the body, or sensations of fear, some kind of, I couldn't even say what it is, and I have no idea where it's coming from. But while it's happening, I can sort of see that so much has been leaving. I mean, there's so much has been seen, especially this habit of holding on to something outside. This is the habit. I mean, like, doesn't matter to people. I mean, to daily life routine is something that I really like to make myself secure in, to the daily life routine. And also what Swaha said, that if I commit myself to a job, then I get ill, but it's generally that if something changes in this system around me, there's panic. So even starting a job, I get so much panic because something changes. And so it's like more that issue that everything falls away right now. I can really see that because it's being seen. It's like I can see that it has nothing to, now my fear comes up because it's Easter holidays, my son went away, I'm alone, it was my birthday, and lots of stuff got stirred up through that. And, you know, like it was like so much, it wasn't daily life, it was more other things happening. And I could
so just I mean, and I know it's only a word, but you spoke about it, my fear.
Yeah, it's a feeling of falling and not being able to hold anything anymore, because I've seen that there's nothing to hold on to. It's been seen. So now there's this kind of falling movement, I would say, which was such a really huge, wonderful feeling. When I woke up this morning, I had the feeling everything left. Stories behind, stories now, everything was gone. And funny enough, right now, it's almost like, whoa, but this is not a safe place at all. That's what my body's telling me. The
Yeah,
body.
so where is safe?
I know that safe is only this that I felt this morning, when there's nothing to hold on to. That's the safest place. And now suddenly something knocks in so hard through that knowing. So it's in a way it's both there, but it's a very strong sensation in my system of the resistance to fall, or to, I mean, I'm not even falling, I'm safe. So it's a funny misunderstanding.
But it's like, to me, if I look at the general frequency of humankind at the moment, with what's going on in the world, with everything, you know, it's like, how would you describe that?
It is very freaked out, definitely.
It's freaked out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can call it fear. We can call it. I mean, it's like. So here we are. We're in that field of humankind, of can we rest in that and just not try to change it, fix it, no, just seeing what is it really? It's just a frequency, it's nothing, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting, because in that case I can really see that, and I'm so free. I had the feeling, but if it's kind of triggered by only my son leaving for a few days or something, then I can't see it.
You see that in a way, it's like the mind puts together, oh, my son left and then this came up. But we don't really know, you know, it's like,
it's actually also it's the same frequencies, all one frequency. There's not, there's no single, maybe there's a single trigger, but it's in a way the same. It widens if I see that. Yeah, it gets a bit wider. I see that it is a general frequency that is the same in all, and can be triggered by different things in the body. Yeah, exactly. So something like that. Oh, it's huge. It's like a whole opening.
So, you know, who knows what you're tuning into, you know, ancestry, you know.
Yeah.
Mothers watch their sons go off to war and die. You know, so we don't know what's touching, you know. All we know is that, oh, suddenly there's a vibration and something in us is taking it personally and calling it mine, or but you know, we don't know. It's just like, it's okay.
Yeah, I can totally feel that system of my mother also. It was always like, as soon as someone just had a plan to leave out of the door, she would go into panic. That something really the catastrophe was at the door as soon as you went out. And so it's like,
you see, we can look at it and we can say it's not rationally, but we know how many mothers watch their sons go off to war, or something, you know, like how many generations is this leaving, been, you know, might never see them again. It's just like,
yes. And at the same time, I really know this space where I know that that everything that happens is it always happens in this. There's never an error. There's no mistake. You know, there's a seeing of that, but it's not really in the cells altogether in a way. They tell me something different. Yeah.
So now, even being in that cellular information right now, just being present to that soul cellular information. We don't need a spiritual viewpoint. We don't need anything. Just here and the sensation. There's space for those sensations of this. Don't have to understand it. Don't have to do anything. Just here. What do you notice? Anything?
Yeah, there's a quietening, definitely. I was kind of witnessing how many emotions were knocking, sort of as if in every cell there's like a load of emotions, and that's kind of transformed into something like a slight compassion. This fully emotional was compassionate somehow, and then suddenly, at some point, I felt like there was a thought coming. That's why I never want to be deeply connected with anybody anymore, so that I don't have to go into this. And it was like a soft smile behind it. It was kind of not, so many happenings. And it's like it gets new information. I can see that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes. But it's a big one. Sure. It's like from having the feeling of connecting to something and feeling that to be connected always. Anyway, it's like a huge, it's almost like a travel that it's happening to the one, from the one to the other, but it's like an arrival also. So, yeah, thank you. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks. Maria. Hi, Maria.
Hello, Isa. Oh, this was a big one from Anya and also from Swaha. And what I recognized is you helped me last time a lot with this knee. Also, I had a nice meeting at night afterwards. So, but now it's worse than before. And what I find out is it's always connected, this accidents also with this theme to find a job, because I cannot afford, for instance, going to Chiemsee or make a celebration with you. So I have a pension that is very limited. And I always said it's just a little job and it must not be bad. It's just for earning some money to fulfill some wishes, nothing more. But then this accident happens, and this happens 3 times now. And it's very difficult to handle. So I just won't give up this. So I have some ideas, imaginations about losing my freedom that I have after 40 years full working now. Yeah, but it's all in my mind and I need money. So that's it. And my body is not doing that what I want to fulfill this things. Yeah.
If I said to you, look, you can have money or peace, but not both.
This is a good theme, yeah. Not working. It's a nice one, yeah. I understand.
Because, you know, but the thing is, you can have both. You can have money and peace, but it's just like to give up peace for money. That's an error.
Yeah, it drops in. It drops in. Yes.
Yeah.
I would be very, very glad to sit a while with you, just quiet. It was a point, really. I'm very thankful for that. I'm always so thankful, Isaac, that you helped me. And all the others also. So we all have the same themes. And it's great to discover this.
There's another story that just comes in my mind. This person I know came to me one day and said, I've been having this thought that I want to give you every cent that I own. So here's a check for everything that I have. And I said, okay, thank you. And then I waited 2-3 weeks, and I gave them the check back. And they said, no, but I didn't want it back. I gave it to you. I said, yes, but you've had the experience that you wanted, which was to give it away. And now you can have the money, you know. It's like you wanted that experience and you had it now. So
And then
that was it. People have these ideas. They want to experience something.
great when you are so independent of this.
Popsy told a story where he said, he heard about that saints didn't handle money, so he took the rupees that he had in his pocket and he threw it in the Ganga, and he said he still remembers those rupees. He said, what good was it throwing it in the Ganga when he's still in his mind,
Mm. Yeah, there was something hanging on.
Yeah.
Energy is coming back.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Isa. I'm deeply touched. Thank you.
Govinda, and then Suresha.
Hello, Isaac.
Hi, Govinda.
I feel joy to be with you.
Well, lucky. Just to sit and enjoy, yeah?
Here's a lot of helplessness in the system. person that was important to me terminated the contact with me, which causes not understanding and helplessness. It's quite a shock, really. Feels like it's here now.
So you notice that shock, and you have no idea really why this happened. You don't know. So now, the mind can get busy. You know, our thoughts, they can get busy. Why did this happen? What's happening? Yeah. I like this person. I love this person even though they don't want to have any contact. Yeah. If you're busy with that person or with what's happening, then not only that person leave you, but you're leaving yourself. Isn't it?
Yes, it's true.
Yeah. We don't see it that way. But when we see it, oh wow, then my attention is somewhere else. It's funny. We have no idea why that happened. You know, we don't know. Usually, if someone responds like that, it's because there's something activated. Yeah, they wouldn't. Usually, someone doesn't do that unless there's some activation. Yeah? And then you can ask yourself, what does activation and then mean about me?
Their activation, you say?
Yeah, activation in them. I don't even know if it's there. Somehow activation happened. Yeah. So all you can really say is that, you know, I have no idea what happened in you, and I'm here. You know, it's there's love and if you'd like presence, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving myself. I'm just here. If that can be of any assistance, here I am.
Yes, it helps that you're here.
Has this person been a mentor of yours, or
Sorry, what?
was this person? Did this person function as a mentor or a teacher, or
No.
as a friend? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Alicia, there you are.
Yeah, Isaac. I mean, it's nearly the end, and all is well. I had a good practice not to be seen by you 6 times, something. And then you said to somebody, yeah, to give up your peace for money. That's okay. And then I thought, to give him my peace because Isaac doesn't see me no way.
Well, and even to believe this idea that I don't see you, of course I see you.
Okay. Yeah, but you feel who is next, really? Something? Or mm, uh, it's fine. It's fine. There was such a longing, to meet. So, yeah.
That longing is beautiful. That longing is the meeting.
I know. Mm. Mm. And it's a free fall. It's a free fall. And I really like this, to fight for the survival of an identity. Wow, this is what a joke. What a joke. Yes. Thank you for this. Uh, uh, uh. Mm, mm.
Okay.
So have a good sleep later. Mm.
Okay. Andrea, thank you for hosting. Thank you, beloveds, for showing up. Love, peace, beauty. Yeah, ciao.